This is Ezekiel Drews, host of Podcast, A Star Wars Story. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Today's verse of the day comes from Psalm 119, 114. You are my refuge and my shield. I have put my hope in your word. Good morning. Welcome to the Verse of the Day podcast presented by Public House Media. I'm your host, Baxter Colbert. Thanks for being a part of the show today. I appreciate it wherever you might be. The fact that you took some time to listen to Verse of the Day really makes the work I do feel special, and the work that we put in at Public House Media as well, too. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. A reminder, the show is on Apple Podcasts. The best way to listen to it is to go and subscribe so you can download every day when it comes out every single morning. So please go and do so. I'd be grateful. Today's verse comes from Psalm 119. You are my refuge and my shield. I have put my hope in your word. We love to put just special words on things, right? We like to put this, 100,000-mile warranty. We love to put this lifetime the protection of a rhino on the, I know it sounds silly, but don't we though? We like to put labels on things to show just how tough something is, how protective it is, right? Bulletproof vest. We are always looking for that next safest, greatest thing, right? And my challenge to you right off the bat this morning is that you're looking in the wrong place, because we already have the greatest armor, the greatest protection, the greatest life support, the greatest health, the greatest way of living, the greatest shield because of Jesus Christ and the fact that he's died for us and the fact that he rose again and conquered sin and the grave and death. He is our shield. He is our refuge. He has saved us. He has pulled us out of the ashes of sin and death and temptation, and he has pulled us up and wrapped us in his arms, in his everlasting saving power, and protected us with this shield. And because of that, as we see in the second part of verse 114, we have put our hope in his word. Now, this is years before Jesus is even born that King David is writing this in the book of Psalms. And already he knows and has an idea of this saving power that Jesus Christ is going to provide for us. And he already existed, as we talked a couple of days ago. Jesus is yesterday, today, and forever. He is all-knowing, all-powerful, all-being, all-existing. He will never go away. He will never stop loving us. He will never stop protecting us. And verse 115, I think, is even more of a driving home point to this. Away from me, you evildoers, that I may keep the commands of my God. Sustain me, my God, according to your promise, and I will live. Do not let my hopes be dashed. Uphold me, and I will be delivered. I will always have regard for your decrees. That's verses 115 all the way through verses 117. We are so blessed as believers to know that we have this all-encompassing force field of God's love around us. We hear stories all the time of supernatural events, as people call them, that, there were terrorists coming to attack this group here, and they were saved by some these people were getting ready to get attacked, and they were saved by some unexplainable event or supernatural power that kind of just, disabled their trucks, or they blew up, or they claim they saw hundreds of people standing, waiting, and, there's numerous stories, and it's, stories of angel sightings and saints and God and just all of this awesome raw power. I want you to remember this on your darkest, lowest days, when you feel uncomfortable, when you don't feel safe, if you're walking home from work right now by yourself, or you're walking to work by yourself. Knowing that you always have that surrounding power, that surrounding love, that surrounding grace from Jesus Christ is a huge blessing, friends. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind that you will be tested, that you will be pushed to your limits, to your max. We all have been. We all will continue to be until the day we die. Even death itself, for some, is still a test of whether or not we still truly believe in Jesus Christ, our Savior, because the devil tries to whittle into our minds and try to plant those seeds of doubt, right? Don't let him do it. Don't give him that benefit. Do not render to him what he thinks is his, because nothing is the devil's. Nothing belongs to him. Jesus Christ has ripped any sort of dignity, any sort of power he may have ever possibly had, and ripped it away and given it all back to the Father, all back to him. And because of that, that's how we were able to get this shield around us. That's how we were able to get this protection around us. So as you go forward in your daily life and you find yourself in scary situations, in fearful situations, in just situations of uncertainty, pray that God comes around you. He brings his loving arms, wraps them around you like a big warm embrace from your favorite grandparent or mom or dad or sibling or loved one. And just realize that that's what it feels like times about 1 trillion. Right? When God embraces us and shows his love to us and his power to us, there's not a better feeling that you will ever experience in your life. So today and every day, keep in mind and remind yourself that you are safe and you are a refuge and a shield of thanks to God. He has that refuge and that shield around us as long as we continue to put our hope in his word and believe what he has done for us. You've been listening to the Verse of the Day podcast hosted by Baxter Colburn on Public House Media. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Verse of the Day. It comes out 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The podcast can be found by subscribing on Google Play Podcasts and wherever good podcasts are found. More information about Verse of the Day podcast can be found by going to thephmedia.com.